Welcome back to Pro Bikini News Network. I'm your host, John Algandi, and today we're going to recap this weekend shows. We had 4 new Olympians qualify this weekend, so it is official. As of this week, we have broken the record. We have 61 bikini girls qualified for this year's Olympia, breaking the 2022 record when we had 55 girls qualify and then 3 on points, making a total of 58 girls. However, that Olympia only had about 54 girls that showed up on stage. So even though we have 61 right now, we don't know who's going to show up until October and who's going to actually be there. So that being said, I'm probably going to start on the West Coast shows and then head to the East Coast because I do have videos. I did get that updated just now to see the top girls individuals in their presentations. So we're going to go over that quickly. So starting off first, we're going to go to the LA Championships. So should I do Chicago? Let me see. I'll do but before that, I'm actually going to share my results from the shows and see how I did. So, share screen. So, Chicago actually got 72%. I had Nina, but I realized she was just doing masters, so I added Justin 6, but all the top 6 girls are Olympians or in previous Olympians, so I was not too far off with placings. Jody did surprise me. I mean, it's her first show back and working with a new coach, so I guess over time she's going to get better with that, but I was actually quite close with all of them. I had Kate in 4th, and she wound up winning the show. So she went from 15th place in Republic of Texas to 1st in a whole week, and that's truly amazing. LA Championships, I was pretty good on that. Got 61%. Cynthia placed lower. Cynthia was 10th. Tori was 7th. I think she had her period, and unfortunately it caused her front to look kind of off. So, I mean, congratulations to Lolo. I know she's been fighting for some time to try to get to the Olympia and, try to qualify and get shown. She finally did it, and probably one of the best ever. Look, we're going to cover her as well. And then Colombia. I I had the most right. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 girls right. I was talking to someone about creating an app with like doing a fantasy bikini. Like everybody was going to pick the girls they want to win. If you win, you get prizes. I'm thinking about doing something. We did talk about like doing gift cards with like Toxic Angels. I mean, I'm pretty sure they could do that because they do that for shows. But hey, there's just something in the works, just something to say. But congratulations to Sharon. I know like this past year she's been like getting it up and into those top spots and really close to qualifying and just needed nail care conditioning, and she nailed it. It was a back-to-back prejudging and finals at Colombia's because they have the amateur. But yeah, I'm happy for her, and I'm happy with my results. I think I nailed Colombia pretty well. Chicago was pretty good too, but muscle contest shows, it's like sometimes they're very unpredictable, so this is how it is. Anyways, let's go to the Chicago. Let's go to Chicago Pro. Actually, no. Let's do LA first. So our 5th place girl was Jewel. She has done well in US shows versus in Europe, which I feel like she's much better to get used to the criteria here. Beautiful girl. The pink suit's fine on her. The makeup's good on her. I just think for her, she needs to like fill out. Sometimes the European girls come in a little too hard, and this is kind of good. She's great in full. I would kind of fix his front pose a bit. Like another thing is, she doesn't need any more shoulders. She's getting too lean. I would just fill out. Hair is good, makeup's good, but the problem I have with her is the suit in the back, and that's gonna feel like really bothers me. So I'm gonna share that part. Let's go here, screen. The thing is, hair's good. I feel like it could be a little darker because it almost looks like her tan. But then again, lighting's kind of almost blends in, and sometimes tans don't always look good. I think her tan in the back really needs work, but the suit cuts way too high. Like I could see her tailbone right here. It's like this is where her upper glute is right here. It just needs like the fabric just needs to cut. I mean, it's a European suit, and one thing I noticed in the European countries is they have their connectors way high past the iliac crest, and just feel like it needs to somehow composition wise to fit you. And I always keep saying this, Toxic Angels is there, so if they are at the shows, use code Ari. Just saying. But overall, it's a good back pose. I just feel that her glutes are overpowering, where to kind of like I feel like she just needs maybe a little more leg. She has great glutes, just needs to balance that out with like so just a little more like a little more legs right here could really balance that out, because that's one thing I think it helps her. Obviously could work in her lower extremity a bit just to balance it, but I feel like in the back it kind of feels like her lower body overtakes her upper body. It just she needs more rear delt and as well, but in the front it's just just needs to fill that out. She just probably needs to get better pumped. And yeah, but overall good look for her. I just definitely think that over time she's younger, so she's going to get more experience doing shows here. All right, and then we have our fourth place finisher, Miss USA. Did I delete it? Hold on, wait. Go down a bit. Here we go. I had it at the top. All right, Judy. So this is her first time making it to the top five. Beautiful girl, beautiful look. She is the Miss USA overall winner in 2023. I'm used to seeing her in a purple suit. I did think she had a pro card in a red suit, so she went back to that. She is a taller girl, so in longer limbs. So one thing about her is just needs to fill out her glutes, and I definitely think that's one thing that she's going to continue to work on. She has shorter legs and longer torso. So she's kind of reminiscent a little bit of Laura Lee, kind of just has that Laura Lee kind of a physique where it's like long torso, short legs. So one thing about her is just working on her glutes just to balance it out. Right here, because from here, from her lower back, it just goes straight. Another thing is I think she could use a little more shoulders, just a little more pop to her. Makeup is beautiful, suits great on her. How she's posing is pretty good. I would fix this hand position. Last year she kind of had her hand like this. I did notice. I would kind of have this hand just a little bit away from her belly button. That could help accentuate her front pose. But kind of feels like she's too side profile. She needs to really show that ask her just maybe a little twist back could really help her versus being so frontwards. All right, here we go. Get to her back pose. Shoulders are good in the back. It's really great right here, but I feel like it could, tie-ins are good, conditioning good. Got great calves, by the way, but calves don't matter. But like I feel like she just needs more upper glutes just to have that projection and that pop to her physique. It's really impressive. She's got great genetics. It's just I feel like that needs to reflect on the front. It needs to balance out so it doesn't look like one side is good and then the other side's not as good. So if she can just find a way to balance that out, her hair is good. I do think that it could be better to cover the connector better. Well, yeah, I'm happy for her. I'm happy to see her finally get her first top five, and happy birthday to her as well. So it was her 30th birthday as well in this weekend. She actually won this show as an amateur and then won the USA's that following week. And I'm looking forward to someone doing that this week again. But I think for her, definitely, suit cut's fine. Just needs, I feel like maybe just a little fabric right here so it doesn't look like she's flat at the top. It just needs to fill out her glutes more and continue to work on that. And I definitely think she'll get better as time goes on. Right, third was Fatu. She's been pretty good in these past couple of shows. She's been in the top placing. She's moved up. She got second at Legion, and then she got sixth. I think it was Nevada, and then she gets back into third. I honestly think she has a beautiful look. Great physique, and definitely working with her coach. I feel like for her, the thing is just balancing her upper body to her lower body, because she's like narrow up top and like great in the body, like waist down. She's like perfect, but just needs to find that fine balance in that. But in the back, I think she's one of the strongest in the whole lineup. I will say, I think that's really what her greatest strength is. I just think in her front, it's good. It's just that needs to match up to her lower body. And that's something that's going to just, just more time in the gym that's going to be working on. Feet position are good. Everything, like everything on this is really good. It's it's an amazing physique. So let's see her back. Okay. So it's good in the back, but I feel like she's kind of a little too tight here. You can kind of see her hamstrings getting a little dug out and on her left, but I feel like she just needs to pose this a little better so it doesn't look like she's too hard and too tight. Her hair's good. It just needs to cover the back connectors better. Suit cut's fine. Like I said, I feel like you see it in the front and you see in the back. Her shoulders just need more. I feel like she's kind of pinching a bit right here. But I do think she just needs to fill out, because you do kind of see that little leanness here. She just fills that out and has that match. I definitely think I think that's kind of what brought her to that third place, is just, looking almost too tight, too lean, and then not enough in the shoulders. I definitely think if that's something she works on, if she continues to compete, I do think she could qualify if she wanted to this season, and that's not out of question. It's just a matter of, can she bring those improvements to be like right there in the winter, just like she did at the Legion Pro. And I definitely can see, like, working with this coach, working with her new coach, it's going to just continue to be a work in progress, and we'll see what happens from here. Okay, in second, we had Tiana. So she's already Olympia qualified. Feedback was almost kind of the same as what she's gotten all year. It's just she just needs more to her physique. She has a great physique. She's refined her posing very well. She has a beautiful look, adorable girl. I definitely think she just needs a little like more to her. And I think the first place girl who we're going to get to just had a whole complete look. I mean, I would not be upset if had Tiana win. There was a 1 point difference between Tiana and Fatu for second and third place, so wouldn't be upset if she won. She's balanced, just needs more to her. She has longer limbs, shorter torso, and she's only 5'1", 5'2", I think. I'm not sure. 5'2", I think. So for her, it's just minimizing her movements, getting to the point, bringing a good presentation, and bringing that confidence. And I definitely think if she does that moving forward, she's going to definitely excel in the pro league and do very well moving up in the ranks in a couple of years. But it's just going to be, it's just going to be more time. See her back. Let's go to back is pretty spot on. I would kind of see like this left shoulder's bigger than her right. Just needs to find a way to balance that out. Back pose is good. Tie-ins are good. How she's posing is very good. Her hair could be a little cropped, so we could see her lower back and the detail in her waist. She's got a great physique. I like the straight hair look on her. I like the blue suit. I think that's her signature color. I would stick with that. She's done red, she's done purple, but I think blue is definitely her color. She should stick to that. I feel like the common theme I saw at this show was blue, red, and purple as the common colors. You kind of play with the theme of the muscle contest show, and that's kind of a thing that you notice. It's like a beauty and thing, and like your makeup's got to look good, and that's kind of the thing that they go with, and you gotta understand it. But yeah, I mean, I'm very happy for her. She had nothing to lose here. It was just getting feedback. Now it's just her going to the Olympia and experiencing that and see how it goes. And yeah, I'm happy to see what she's going to do and continue to progress. I mean, she's young, she's 21 years old, so we'll see. And it's because got great genetics, and I definitely think it's just the greatest Tiana will see is something down the line in the future, and that's something that's going to be something we'll be behold to see. Okay, and first we have Lolo. So these couple shows in this year, she's been getting like 9th, 8th, but then she went from 8th and I think Indy to now first. So to make that huge jump from that to here, and to do well and to qualify. So this, I don't think it was fully posed right here. I did see the photo, so I just pulled this one photo up. But great physique. I definitely think so for her, it was just filling out, but she brought one of the best she ever looked, and I definitely think this was what helped her get this win. And I'm very proud of her, and I'm happy to see that she finally got this. Trying to qualify even last year, being really close and kept going for it. And this year, I definitely think that she knew she could qualify, and she kept going, and she did it. And I think I would kind of fix this hand position right here. I mean, actually, no, maybe it's just a photo, but like I would just fix the hand position here. How she's posing is pretty good, full in the glutes, great delts. Just needs to fill them out so it doesn't look too shredded. But honestly, gonna see what she's gonna do, and I look forward to see what she's gonna do whatever down the line. And I don't know if she's just only going for the Olympia, but I definitely think if going on a win right now, it's whatever, she's got nothing to lose. Love the suit on her, by the way. The hair is beautiful on her. The tan looks really good on her. I mean, this is pretty good. This is really spot on. Let's go to our back pose. Okay. I mean, the hair is really good. I mean, the balance between the glutes and hamstrings is great. The shoulders, really, the whole look is balanced. The whole look is full. The whole look is complete. This is why I feel like she was the clear winner here when they were doing all the judging. Although people could say that, yes, they could win, but when you look at the whole balanced look where it's like not one part's too much of another, I feel like when people try to, when they say you need more to their physique, I don't think, sometimes it is the whole physique, but sometimes it's just a certain part for her, like that needs to balance out the physique. And I definitely think it was just coming in full, not too lean, not too shredded and conditioned, where in the past she looked like she was almost like semi-figure, but this is like a bikini look right here. So I mean, the suit cuts great on her. I think purple, she should just stick to that color. That should be her signature color going forward. Um, Beautiful look to her. She poses very well. I'm definitely saying that they definitely think that she could continue to go into shows and see where she stands. And she has a great physique. She's got a very competitive physique. I think any lineup she's in, she's going to be a top 10 girl. She's going to be a top 5 and a top placing girl. And, for this year, this was the show that she hit the nail on the head. And I'm very happy for her and to see how it goes. I mean, sky's the limit for her, and looking forward to see what she does at the Olympia. All right. Next up, we'll go into Chicago. But I actually wanted to pull up the individuals so you guys can see. So let's go with Judy. Again, beautiful look on Judy. I just think that, she just needs more to her glutes to balance out. And she could be a little better with presentation. Get more, be more confident on stage. Don't try to grimace kind of like. Now watch closely when she walks back. You can kind of see like leanness in her glutes. So that's where like she needs to really fill out right there. But yeah, very beautiful look. Just needs to fill out. Here's Fatu. She's got a great presentation. That's a good move. All right, Tiana. One thing I notice sometimes is it's sometimes a little hard in the quads. She tries her best to avoid any like extensions and anything that's gonna like cause her to have that. But presentation really good on her. All right, then here's Lolo. This is very well great. This is like one of the best her glutes have ever looked. I was even telling Kaylee about that. Like, I think this is one of the best I've ever seen her look. Okay, stop sharing. All right, let's go into Chicago. So fifth, we had Jessica Dolius. I think I think she has a great look. One thing about her, I feel like right here she's kind of pulling a vacuum. She has a shorter torso and long limbs, so I don't know why she's doing that. But hair's good, makeup's good. I just think she just needs more shoulder and just to adjust this front pose a bit. Her hands kind of too. Her hands like kind of getting to like her under her belly button, so I just feel like her hand position could be fixed a bit. It kind of feels a little washed up top. The lighting's actually good here. I will say this: the Chicago Pro lighting this year was actually really good, thanks to Gilco. But I definitely think that's something that she needs to work on. It's just her front needs to do, just needs a little adjustments. Just needs to come in more fuller, more tighter. But honestly, let me just see what she looks like in the back to see where she was. But honestly, I mean, from her past couple of shows, it was just coming in way too hard, way too muscular, and I think her trying to bring that down caused her to be a little too soft and washed. But she just needs to find that balance in her physique that really matches that up. So let's stop sharing. Let's go to her back. Let's see here. Like this back pose, I feel like she's the tie-ins are good. She has short glute insertions. But I feel like her upper just needed to be more pumped and more filled out. I don't know if it's like I don't know if it was like a peaking thing for her, but her feet position could be fixed a bit. But I think those are just some things that she needs to work on. She's a beautiful girl. She's got a beautiful look. It's just little things that she does maybe that kind of have hurt her in the past couple of shows. But to get back into the top five and to take that feedback and going forward and see what she does in the future shows them, definitely can see her doing better as time goes on and maybe fixing the mistakes and going forward. But I definitely think that, hey, this is great to get back to I do like her hair here. She does wear a wig. She has shorter hair, but she does put on a wig. So that's either, I mean, and I don't know. I think maybe like the curly hair much better than the straight hair, but it's fine on her. It's fine with this show. I think the suit from the front had like red and black. I would just go with a solid color for her. Let's see. Then again, guys, I wasn't at the show. I I just saw videos and photos, so it's much different in person. Okay, so fourth we had Savannah Watchman. So she's been getting moving up into places. She is a previous Olympian. She is a former Miss USA as well. The purple suit is actually really good on her. I mean, I've seen so many red suits. I'm like, I feel like people could do something differently. This purple suits her very well. I think she's done teal or blue in the past. Bright blonde hair. I think for her right here, her tan was just a little too dark, and I can see it kind of right here. I don't know if it's just lighting or something like that. Maybe I'm seeing things, but a tendency that Savannah comes in is just way too conditioned, way too hard. I feel like she's trying to adjust to that and get back into things after taking a year off. So she's to be into the top four again, and see where she can do and how she can qualify. One thing about her is I think the suit needs to be better coverage. I'm nervous. It's an Angel competition suits. I'm just not a big fan of Angel comp. Sometimes I feel like some girls are going to get a wardrobe malfunction, but I feel like that's what's going to happen here. I'm nervous that her suit top's going to fall off. I definitely think she just needs better coverage and a better fit. I understand she has implants and all, but like that's just something I would fix. S curve is great. The posing, I just feel like I just think her shoulders could be just maybe a little more, but this pose is good on her. Okay, let's go with her back. Back pose is pretty good. Could be a little more tighter in her tie-ins. Like I said, I feel like the suit cut, her suit in the top, you could see her tailbone right here. Just needs better fabric. Just Angel comp, the quality sometimes not always the best on them. I'm not trying to ring and ding them. I'm not trying to sell them, but I feel like for her and her physique type, it just needs to really work with her. Hair is good. It covers the connector very well. Glute fullness is really good here. Great balance. She's not too muscular, not too like grainy in the back end as she has in the past, but this is actually a good look for her. I just definitely think fine tuning the details and finesse can definitely really help her out. And hey, getting back to the top spots, after a year off is really good. And she's been getting moving up. She's been 11th, then getting into the top 10, and now she's back into the mix and to be competitive. I do think she is kind of pinching her bag. I would kind of fix how she does her hands here as well. But I mean, yeah, we'll see how it goes. See, third, we had, where's her? It was Marie Eve. Here you go. So she's back on stage after a year. She took third at the Arnold UK last year. Yeah, Arnold UK last year. So I definitely think her working with our new coach is definitely getting her back into things. I'm very impressed with her. I do love this fullness on her. Beautiful look. I love the suit. I do think it could be a little more coverage up here, just so nothing bad happens. Positioning's good. The conditioning's pretty spot on. I do think she needs to be mindful of her waistline a bit. She does have a thicker waist and thicker obliques, so that's something that she just needs to compensate for, and just coming in tighter in here. Shoulders are great. Everything's good on her. It's just right here is just where I feel like she's gonna where she needs to just work on that. But beautiful look on her. I definitely think that she's a contender to try to go in for a show and qualify. And she has won a U.S. show, being a Canadian citizen. So, I mean, and being third at the Arnold UK does make that her a good competitor and for many years to come. And she's young, so she'll definitely get into that mix again. I definitely think that she'll definitely be in those top spots again. But I feel like the blue suit's great on her. I do feel that darker blue does contrast with her light. When I talk about contrast all the time with dark to light colors, this darker blue definitely accentuates her like bright blonde hair very well. And her makeup, her glam is everything's on spot. I do think for her, maybe it's just me getting like bothered by it, but I just do these earrings are a bit distracting. It's kind of like, it's a different color tone, and it's like it's just like kind of wide on her ear, so it's just kind of like I'm going to that. I just definitely think new earrings could help her out. Okay, let's get to her back. I mean, her back pose is really good. Full glutes, you know, right amount of conditioning. I do think she just needs to be a little tighter right here in her tie-ins. Foot positioning's good. Could use a little more to her lower limbs just to balance out. Just a little work, just little details. I mean, like I said, calves don't matter, but just a little like balancing out act. Um, hair could be a bit fit. Hair could be fixed. Some parts of it's like going over, covering her shoulders. They want to see her shoulders so that, they can see how that balances out. If she fixes her hair, covers her back well. If this hair was just like right tapered right here, it definitely could help accentuate her physique even more. But very great look on her, very well detailed look. The suit cut's good right here. I definitely think that it helps her. It helps accentuate her physique. But just think little things right here and there, and just little fixes from going on here and forward that could definitely get her into the top spots and try to qualify again. All right, second was Savannah Dalzell. So she's been getting into those top spots, getting into those first call outs. Previous week she took fourth. She did win this show 2 years ago, and I had her as a front runner to win. I do feel like it's her front that kind of hurt her the most, and I feel like it's just how she's posing really kind of docked her down. It does feel like she's kind of bending at both knees right here. Maybe she's just a little too lean. That perhaps I'm just speculating. Like I said, um, beautiful girl, beautiful look. I definitely like the hair, the suit, the makeup. Everything on her is really good. I just think that little things here and there kind of make her like right here. It kind of looks like a smaller figure. Where how she's posing, her shoulders like going right here, right this one right here. The phone is, but it's just how she's posing in her front it just kind of throws off. If she kind of adjusts that a bit, it really would help her like accentuate the win. But I definitely think that's what kind of hurt her. So let me see her back. Her back is pretty good. Tines are good. Glutes are full. I definitely think she just needs a little more upper glute. The hair is beautiful. I just wish it was covering the connector better. So if it was just a little bit lower, it would really help her out. You do see her back muscles a bit, so it kind of makes her look like too muscular. Maybe coming in too lean because I mean she's done back-to-back shows. I don't know if this was her last show this season or she plans to continue going on, but I think if she continues planning going on, it's just going to be some time off to just make those kind of adjustments to be back into things. But she has a beautiful look. She's a beautiful girl. I definitely think just how she poses, presentation's really good on her, but just how she poses in the front throws it off, and it doesn't compensate always in the back, because if someone has a better back pose than her, it's just going to overtake. And that's definitely think that's what the first place girl had. But I'm proud of her. I'm happy to see her moving up and definitely doing very well this season. And whatever happens, we'll see. I mean, who knows what the future holds with her. So then we have our winner from New Zealand, Kate Carroll. Definitely got to say, I'm impressed from her going from, I had her fourth place going into this show because, I had her at least being a runner up to Rain at Republic of Texas, but from going from 15th to first and fixing your mistakes, coming with a better peak here into this show and, nailing it, it's definitely a good look. I definitely could say that she has like top tier Olympia potential because last year she was in the second call out and she defeated Ashley Kay in the Dallas show, and winning this one here in a big show right here, I definitely could say that she's definitely going to be making some moves, and how she does, and if she nails it on show day, coming to Olympia time, I'm excited to see her. The blue suit's great on her. I personally, when she does her presentation with the hair, I would kind of like minimize it and just kind of get to the point. If you don't have much time, especially with so many competitors, you just have to just get to the point. I know it's kind of like her personality and stuff, and she brings that to her. Suit's good. I feel like it's just a little too high on her, but that's just me. Shoulders are good, conditioning spot on, the glute fullness is there, tan's great, everything contrasts. I do think a darker blue is much better on her versus this like aqua kind of blue, this like light blue aqua. I think I've seen on her, because light it just doesn't work well. But I feel like you have lighter hair, like a royal blue suit. I think that would really. She did do blue last year. She did do purple as well, but I definitely think like blue or purple are much better suited on her. But I like that she's trying things out and seeing how things go. But I'm definitely looking forward to see what she does, going into the season and perhaps the Olympias and the Olympia as well. All right. Here we go. Let's get into her back. I mean, this back pose is like really good, really spot on, like hit the nail on the head. Shoulders are good. Glutes are balancing with her upper body, and tie-ins are there. Her feet position are good. Her presentation, how she goes through posing rounds is good. Like I said, I feel like the only thing for her is I would get a different color. I would go back to like purple or blue. I think it works for her very well. If she had darker blonde hair, like I think the teal suit would be great on her. I don't know if I could see her in green, but I mean, I'm fine with blonde hairs girls wearing green, but I feel like for her skin, like I said, hair and skin tone, I think blue or purple is much better for her. But hey, she has amazing physique, great presentation. I definitely think that she's going to be making some moves going into the Olympia and going into the season. And I definitely could see her, being a girl who places in the Olympia one year and then definitely is going into the top 10. She's younger. She's an international pro. And, it shows you that international pros, if they compete or they get used to the criteria and they do well, she lives out in New Zealand. So those countries like in Oceania, like your Australia and all those, they don't have many shows, so they have to come here and compete. Some of them could go to Europe and stuff, but she chooses to compete in the US and do well, and that's why she's doing well now with 2 US wins. That's why she's going to be in those top spots at the Olympia, I believe, and definitely get used to criteria, definitely getting feedback from other judges. I mean, I definitely think that she's going to be doing that. I would love to see her in some of these big shows in August, and that's something I think she'll continue to get better, and and after that, head home for a month and then come back to the Olympia and see how she can do, and definitely get tested. I definitely think she's testing herself and getting uncomfortable, being comfortable, and look forward to what she can do. All right, so that's Chicago. We got one more, and that's Colombia. And in 5th place, we had Danny. So she turned pro this year at the Junior USAs, and then she did her debut at the World Classic, got 5th, and I was amazed by her. And then in Republic of Texas, I had her in the 5th place spot because but she's doing very well against Olympians, and beautiful girl, beautiful look. She's definitely fixing things as time goes on, and how she physically, when she's at the beginning of the season, she was kind of leaning forward. This time she's more upright. She has brought those improvements, but I definitely think it's just going to be with a good off season and coming back with the improvements from going from pro to this year. She's going to be an amazing physique. I mean, this was her last show of the year, and she's from America but lives in Puerto Rico, but she's got such a great look to her. And I definitely think, like I said, I feel like it's shoulders and just glutes that needs her, but she's got a great look. She's a tall girl, and she definitely fills out her frame very well. I love the teal suit on her. I think she should stick with that color. I think she did purple when she was doing the Miami Amateur, where she won the overall in to get nationally qualified. And I think this teal contrasts with the darker hair, like a lighter jewel tone, lighter suit color really works well for her. But yeah, I'm happy to see what she's done and what she's brought this year. And I think, like I said, with some time off, she's going to do very well. So let's go into her back pose. Again, beautiful hair, yeah, beautiful suit. Posing is great. Presentation is beautiful. I definitely just think for her, she just needs more shoulders, just a little more glutes, just more glutes, just balancing out with her legs. If she has more glutes, more legs, more shoulders, just more to her frame because she is taller, and with more time in the gym, I definitely think that she's going to be doing very well in the next year, and definitely could qualify for the Olympia and definitely get those improvements back. And I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to do in the future. I definitely was impressed with her this year. I mean, she's probably one of the rookies that I was really happy to see and do very well. And whatever she does, I'm going to say, you got a bright future ahead of you. All right. Fourth, we had Ellie. So she started the season pretty good, kind of dropped places, and then she's back into the mix. The pink suits, I mean, I feel like if her tan was a little different. I mean, I don't know how it was, but pink suit's fine. I just feel like it's just too bright on her. I mean, I'm used to seeing her in like blue, purple, and sometimes red, but I like the blue, purple, or teal suits on her the most. Hair is beautiful. She's a beautiful girl, but I definitely think that sometimes it comes into condition. Her front could just be a little bit tweaked here and there. Shoulders are beautiful, good, but I definitely think it's just her back needs to match with her front. She's good in the back, but sometimes it's her back that needs to reflect on that. Um, Great physique, beautiful look on her. Let's see, go to back. I would for her back, great. Right here, just need to be more tighter. I don't know if she's standing too wide. I just think she just needs to be more tighter in her glutes. She does need more shoulders. I would cut this hair so that her lower back is. I know she's kind of like wider in the back and has thicker obliques in the front, but she just has to find those details. When she kind of has like an Ashley K like physique, but if she can just fine tune those details, it's like for Ellie, it's like for her, she just has to like come into a show and like absolutely nail it. And I definitely can, and she has such an underrated physique. I definitely think that with improvements here and there and some tweaks here, and also the lineups that she's in, it definitely could really help her out because she took I think third in Toronto, so she was up there with those top girls. So just a couple things here and there could help her out. And third, we had Anna from Italy. So I'm happy to see her doing shows in US, and I'm hoping that she does more US shows and tries to qualify. I just think how she poses in her front makes her look too hard and just kind of looks. She has longer. She has longer forearms, so sometimes it kind of looks way too angled right here. Beautiful hair. The suit's good. The makeup's good. Like she looks like a model. But I just be careful of her lower ab distension. That's one thing about her because she has a longer torso. She's only 5'6". I've seen her up close in Torture Gym in Las Vegas, and I mean I'm impressed with her. But I just think just a couple tweaks here and there to this front pose, just more shoulders definitely could balance out her physique right here. In the back, I would just have her hair cover this back connector very well. Suit cuts fine. I just definitely think that in their front, it was just kind of throws off. But this is pretty solid. She has to make sure that she doesn't come in way too hard or way too tight. Got great calves. I don't know why girls in bikini have great calves these days, but anyways, I just definitely think maybe I don't know if it was a tanning thing for her, but I just think that needs to come in just as good as in the front from the back. And just to match that out. But to get third here and to do well here is truly amazing. And I definitely think that she keeps going. She can do well, and I definitely think that she keeps getting used to criteria in US and how the judges judge in US. She'll definitely continue to prove and to do well in there. Right, second, Brittany. She was one of our front runners to win the show. I was saying between her and Sharon for the win. I've always thought Brittany this year has brought a really good package, very great stage presence, trying out new things, trying out new suits. I do think the red suit's one of her signature colors. I always keep saying I wish a royal blue would look on her, and everyone keeps saying that she's too hard or too conditioned. Her feedback is not that she's too hard or too conditioned. Her feedback is, and this is my opinion, I say that a lot, maybe because, like I said, I'm not always at the shows to see her. But when I'm there, I probably would say something different. But from what I see, I definitely think she just needs more width to her back. She just needs more back width and just balancing out her hamstrings, because it feels like her glutes and her calves kind of overtake her hamstrings. And this is an amazing physique. She's got great proportions, and like I said, she's almost like Reina with the longer torso, higher lats, but just a little shorter. I think she said on her story she was like 5'3.5". I said 5'4", so I was close. So but sometimes it's like you look at her calves first. It's like you're like, her lower body from waist down is like great, but it feels like her upper body needs to match that. But I just think she just needs a little, just to balance it out in her hamstrings. And I can show you what I'm talking about right here. So it's like her glutes are just amazing and her calves are amazing too, but it feels like sometimes her tines and her hamstrings kind of like it's not there. This suit cut, I would get a different suit cut. I know she went back to this red. I definitely think she just needed to fill out more. Coming in glutes full, and that's another thing with her, getting me in with her glutes fuller. Because she has such great projection from the front, but in her back, sometimes she nails it, or misses the mark. And I think that she slightly missed the mark here. So, I mean, I don't know if this is going to be her last show this season, and she needs rest. But she's competed a lot. But if she does decide to continue, in my opinion, I really think that she really can qualify. If she took just a little couple weeks off, recovered, and then got back into it, she can definitely take a win and definitely qualify. I know she really wants to get back to the Olympia stage, and I definitely think that she can do that. And it is absolutely 100% possible. It's just coming in, nailing it, and seeing how things go, and definitely focusing on the areas that you need to work on. I feel like she doesn't need to add more. Like we had talked about earlier with that one girl, it's like, it's not like you need more to you, just need to add one little part to you. And that one little part is just her hamstrings, and just more up top and her shoulders, just to balance out. And if she can do that, she's young. She can definitely be someone that I can see moving up into the top spots, and eventually winning a show and doing very well at the Olympia eventually one day. Then we have our winner, which is Sharon. So she's been like right there fighting for the top, fighting to, qualify. I definitely think that she, going into the show, knew that she could qualify and win the show. Beautiful presentation, beautiful look, hair, suit, makeup, everything spot on. Gorgeous girl, by the way. Amazing physique, amazing genetics. I just think in her back, it just needed more conditioning. It just needed to just not come in so watery. But here, I feel like she really nailed it, and it definitely shows. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Tyler says in his video after this show, and what the things that she can work on, because I definitely could see her as eventually a contender to do well. And that's what the type of girl and that's the type of athlete she wants to be. She wants to be a contender. She doesn't want to go, I had it easy, or, I had a win like this. Like, no, I want to go against the best. I want to challenge the best. So her going against shows against, like, last year against Amy, against Reina, these girls who have been at the top at the Olympic, it shows that she wants to, she lives in that challenge. Even this year in Pittsburgh, she wanted that challenge. And I'm looking forward to seeing what she's going to do, going forward. And I definitely think that, from going from the Olympia amateur overall to now here, going from an amateur Olympian to now 2 years later, you're going to be on the Olympia stage. I'm very proud of her. Felicidades. So I'm going to go to her back pose and talk about that. I mean, this is pretty spot on. I do think, in my opinion, she could have been a little tighter. Um, Great balance right here. Suit's fine. The suit, I just think like she needs to be better. So she has longer glute inserts, but I definitely think the glute hamstring tie-ins is like really spot on. I just think she just needed a little more tighter in her glutes, just to be right here. I don't know if that's just something with her thickness of her skin. I just think that's just something that she just needs to nail the conditioning. If she nails her conditioning right here with the right peak, she is just beating up everybody. And she nailed it here. I mean, did very well against Brittany. I feel like she was a more complete look, even though Brittany has a great physique. I feel like the things that Brittany was lacking, she had it, and that's why it carried her to win. And I'm happy to see her win. I'm happy to finally see her. The people of Dominican Republic, I guarantee in Santo Domingo, her and Elisa Alcantara they're going to be carried through the streets, and they're going to be celebrating a lot, and eventually have Mauricio Ariando. But I'm very happy to see her qualify. I'm happy to see how she's doing. And one thing I definitely think is just going forward, just finding a way to nail the conditioning, and finding different methods, and see how shows go. And I mean, being an international competitor to do and win this, I definitely think she can eventually win a show in the US, because she's been close. I think twice last year to Amy and Reina. But I definitely think that she has what it takes to move up and to do very well. And she's got a long future ahead of her. I mean, right now it's like I could say right now 20 girls could be in those top two call outs, and I definitely could see her eventually doing that. And we'll see how it goes this year. So that's enough for VAR show recaps. So this week we have a small list. And I know people are going to be like, I can't believe this. And they're saying this ridiculous, is crazy, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like I just think it's kind of the show quality and the production. I'm not blaming them. I mean, I understand they lost a lot because 2019, that lighting was awesome. 2018, 2019, I think that was the last time that Vancouver looked good. This year, unfortunately, Vancouver Pro doesn't have open. So I feel like that's maybe the reason why they only have bikini, men's physique, and is it men's physique, and it's bikini 212 and men's physique, because I guess that's what they could have. I mean, Open's expensive. The sanction fees are more. The cost of the shows are more. The prize money more. Last year they only had, I think, 7 guys in it. But I mean, the show's numbers have been dropping in Vancouver, and it's not Ashley's fault. It's not the athlete's fault. It's just I think the timing of the show, and I definitely think that they had the show beginning of July last year. Now it's at the end of July. I don't know. I mean, so we're gonna just talk about our top girls. So obviously, I'd say Ashley Kaltwasser is going to be our girl to win it. I definitely think that she's going to walk away here, but I will say that I do think Maxine could be the girl that could challenge her. And if she could beat her, you can win the Olympia. I definitely think Maxine has a great look to her physique, beautiful physique, but sometimes when she's like, as the show goes on, she kind of started fading. She looks better than she was last year, but it's just, can she like nail that and hold her poses? But I definitely could see it coming down to her and Ashley having a face off, and only one's going to win, and we'll see how it goes. We see from, so she said she brought her fullness. She needed to come, to bring the density, and she's brought that up and definitely seen that in her update pictures. But I definitely would say Maxine's going to be one of the girls to challenge Ashley here. I think she's probably the only one. I mean, I don't know anyone else. I don't know any disrespect to the athletes, but let's see. I think they have an amateur on Saturday, and the winner of the amateur, actually it was it actually the amateur winner on Sunday gets to compete with the pros. So we're gonna have a top 6 right here. So let's see, Lindsay, I think this is going to be her debut. Any stage picks? So that's one we have to be looking out for. I can't do a top 5 pick here like I always do at the end. So Demi, I think she did the Arnold UK a couple years ago. Yeah, she did. I haven't seen her in a while. I don't believe she's ever qualified for the Olympia. Got a beautiful look. Just need to add more to her frame. Let me see. So then we'll go to Brooklyn. I don't know if I think she did compete in Toronto. Yeah. I think she's just too conditioned. Yeah, you could see it like that deep cuts in her legs. Great tie-ins, great look. Just needs to come in more fuller. She just needs to fill out. So I guess we'll have to just say Ashley's going to win the show handedly, unless Maxine can beat her. And if she does, and if Maxine does somehow beat her, she can definitely be. She's going to be talked about all year and going into Olympia. And we'll see how it goes. But Ashley is the champ. She has won this show, I believe, 3 times now. So we'll see. I know that was such a long recap of all these shows, but I'm definitely looking forward to, next week. I mean, the biggest question is, I don't know who's doing Tampa. I mean, that's one of the biggest shows I'm looking forward to seeing. I mean, that show, traditionally people win it. They wind up doing very well at the Olympia. So I'm going to have a Q&A in the next day or two put up and, going over questions and things that you guys might ask and what I think about certain things. And I'm going to you give me the cues. I'm going to give you RAs, realistic answers. So, and then I'm going to have another episode with another guest on. I will tell you, I do have a special guest coming on in the next couple of weeks. So I'm excited to be posting that. And I'll catch you guys next week. Thank you very much. And if you liked the video, please like, subscribe, share with your friends.